Welcome back to the ABG Investor Days. My name is Johan Brown, a retail analyst here at ABG. We now have the pleasure to welcome Mårten Hellberg, CEO of OrganoClick. Go ahead, Mårten.
Thank you, Johan. Thanks for the introduction. My name is Mårten Hellberg. I'm the CEO and co-founder of OrganoClick. My journey with the company started 14 years ago when I met two Swedish professors. They had already in the mid-90s started to realize that plastics would become a problem. Please change the slide. In the mid-90s, we didn't really know that plastics would be such a huge problem as we know today. And now, we know that 8 million tons of plastics are released into the oceans annually, and they are just gathering there. They don't degrade, so we have an ocean full of plastics, and if you don't do anything, within 2050 there will be more plastics in the oceans than fish. So what our two scientific co-founders had started to look into was how natural chemistry occurs. What is the chemistry behind a tree becoming so strong, or why does some leaves become water repellent? Or why does some trees burn less good than other trees? You can change the slide. And this is a field, this was an emerging field at that time that is called biomimicry, that is studying natural occurring processes. And this is everything from this picture, why leaves become water repellent, to why some spiders have, what is the strength of the spider web. And really what fascinated me was that they had developed a technology which we call modification of cellulosic fiber. You can change the slide. And change it one more time. Where we can attach functional molecules to the cellulose fiber, and those give new properties to cellulose, which is in wood, in textiles and paper. By clicking on different molecules, we could give water repellence to the material, we could make the material stronger, we could make them fire retardant. It was mainly the fantasy that limited us at that stage. However, of course, there is always limitations in reality. But what we started to look into was where can our technology, where we use these natural chemistries, work in real industrial applications. You can change slide. Today, 14 years later, we can see back in history, and it actually took us 6 years of pure R&D before we launched the first product, which was our wood protection technology. That was in 2012. And here we are replacing biocides and heavy metals that are currently in use for wood protection and wood impregnation with natural silicon minerals that is taking up in several wood species and giving a physical barrier to the rot fungus rather than being a toxic or a poison to the rot fungus. Another area which we started to develop very early was using biopolymers derived from food waste, mainly different peels like orange peels, shrimp shells, oat husk, wheat bran, as these peels are very, very strong, and they also have good durability towards different type of fungal attacks or also towards water. So we studied these biopolymers and found that several of these could replace the plastic polymers that are used in several single-use consumer products today, such as non-woven materials, which I will come to a little bit later. Finally, we also focused on textile impregnation, where we knew that the PFAS or the fluorocarbons that have been traditionally used had been started to known to be carcinogenic and also bioaccumulative, as well as hormone disruptive. Today, 14 years later, the European Union just 1 month ago made a new legislation proposal about banning these PFAS chemical group completely in the European Union. So now, after 14 years, everybody realized that these PFAS are not very nice towards human health and to the environment. So of course, this is something that helps us a lot because we have developed a biodegradable alternative to PFAS, which is now used in textile impregnations, both in industrial but also for consumer use. You can please change the slide. Today, we are an industrial company. We started our first pilot factory in 2012, and we scaled it up a little more in 2015. So today we have a capacity of producing 10,000 tons of our natural chemistries per year. Last year we produced around 2,500 tons, so we have an overcapacity of 4 times. This led to revenue of 85.5 million SEK in 2019, and we have been growing very steadily during the last 5 years. And we nearly reached EBITDA break-even in 2019, and I was happy to see that we actually had a positive net result for the first time in our history in Q2 2020. So we are still, after 3 quarters, we have a positive EBITDA. So we'll see what it will ends up now in the end of 2020. Please change slide. We have structured our business in 4 different business areas. We have the functional wood area where we are commercializing and selling our wood protection technology, and the organo wood, which is the treated wood material where we use our technology. We have an area called green coatings and maintenance products, where we are supplying after treatment care for wood products, as well as textile impregnations for consumers. So this is an aftermarket, you can say, to the wooden material, but also then the textile material, which is an aftermarket for textile impregnation. Then we have our 2 business areas where we're selling these plastic replacement products, our biocomposite unit and our non-woven and technical textile unit, where we are mainly working with our bio-based binders that can replace plastic polymers in various materials. We today have 4 different technologies commercialized: water repellents, improved mechanical strength, fire protection, and rot protection. And these different technologies we can apply on all these cellulose-based materials: wood, textiles, biocomposites, and non-woven. So that is really where we have also synergies between our different business units. There are different application areas, but we use the same technology, and we also use the same production to produce these various chemical products. So there we have a lot of synergies. You can please change the slide. In the area where we have come the furthest, functional wood, we are, as I mentioned, treating wood with natural silicon minerals instead of the fungicides and heavy metals that are used today in pressure impregnation of wood. And this is a huge market. The Nordic market is one of the largest in the world. The Nordics are the largest exporter of pressure impregnated wood worldwide. And in Sweden, we produce 1.4 million cubic meters of pressure impregnated wood annually. 700,000 cubic meters are used domestically in Sweden, but 700,000 cubic meters are exported as well. We have just reached 10,000 cubic meters of organo wood, so we have quite a big volume to go for in this area. The Nordic market for pressure impregnated wood is valued to around 3-4 billion SEK, so it's a quite huge, big market as well. And of course, the rest of Europe and the US market is much, much bigger than this. You can please change the slide. If we look here, in Q3, we had quite positive development, even now during the pandemic. We had revenue growth of 13%, and in particular, we had a very good growth on the German market, which we entered this year. So we signed a distribution agreement with Germany's leading wood distributor in 2019. They launched our products in Germany in February. Then they came to a very sudden halt because of the pandemic during Q2, so there was quite limited growth at that time. But then during Q3 and onwards, we have seen a really good growth in the German market. So we believe this can be a very strong growth driver for us in the coming years. Another new thing that happened during Q3 was that we now came out that we will launch the second generation of organo wood technology, which will be launched in 2021. Our first generation technology was launched in 2012, as I mentioned, and then we started to, about 5 years ago, looking at a new generation, but because our scientists, they came up with ideas of how we could improve this technology even further to prolong the life of the wood further, as well as also making it cheaper to produce. And now after 5 years of R&D, we can now finally launch the second generation of organowood, which will both be an improved quality of the wood, as well as making the whole process a bit cheaper to produce. So we believe we can have better margins on this product coming up in 2021. During 2021, we will gradually switch over to this new technology. So we will sell both the old technology and the new technology, but in 2022, we aim at only providing the second generation organowood on all our different geographical markets. You can please switch the slide. Just to show a little bit where we are working, we mainly work towards the professional building sector. So 75% of our market is towards the professional builders, 25% is the consumer market. So this is a very typical project where organowood may be used. This is the whole paneling here in this building, which is the headquarters of an industrial company, is built in organowood. We're also very strong in the public sector, supply a lot to schools, to preschools, where they want to have a non-toxic environment, and then they choose organowood, as we are the cheapest eco-labeled wood on the market. So you can please change slide again. Then in our green coatings and maintenance product business area, we are supplying after treatment or aftercare products for wood and for textiles. So we have, for example, a complete wood protection system, organowood, which you can use as a consumer to treat your decking or your facade. We also have an aftercare program where you can clean your decking and clean your facade. And this is really nice type of products, which is have good margins and also give us a direct contact with the end customer, which it also strengthens our relationship to them and to the brand. Then we have our textile impregnation products, OrganoTex, which is sold through retailers such as Naturkompaniet, Team Sportia, different outdoor and sport retailers. We distribute it now also in Norway, Finland, and in Q3 we also signed distribution agreement in the Netherlands. Again, please change slide. We had a very good growth in Q3. We had a revenue growth of 78%, and we also signed new distribution agreements, as I mentioned, in the Benelux for OrganoTex and for the organowood wood protection technology in Canada and the USA, where we have one distributor in Canada and one in the USA. So this has been something that we've planned for quite some time. We have been looking for strategic distribution partners, and now we believe we have found two very strong partners, which is also distributing a few other selected European brands of specialty paints. So they have a very good network of resellers throughout both Canada and the USA. So this will be a very interesting launch in next year when they will launch the products in March. So this is something that we're working very hard together with them now to plan the launch in the North American market. So you can please change slide. Then going away from the products which are replacing toxic chemicals towards our products that are replacing plastic polymers. And now we move into the non-woven and technical textile segment. This segment, non-wovens, you can say it is industrial textiles. It is something that is in between a traditional textile and a paper material. So you use fibers that are soft to create material that are paper-like but feels much softer than paper. And these type of materials are used in hygiene products, like in baby diapers, feminine care products, in face masks, which is a big demand for this date, and hair covers and surgical gowns, in tea bags, in agricultural textiles. They can be in napkins and tabletop products, and also in plasters and some home textiles. And many of these non-woven materials are made of plastics, either plastic fibers or cellulosic fibers in combination with plastic-based binders. For example, a napkin is made up of about 80 to 90% cellulose fibers, which are biodegradable and bio-based, and 10 to 20% plastic binders. that is something you don't really know when you think about the napkin. And here we have developed a new binder technology, which is based on biopolymers with the raw materials from orange peels, from shrimp shells, oat husks, wheat bran, which can mimic these plastic binders in these materials, and then those creating a completely biodegradable and completely bio-based non-woven material. This is something that we have been working on for more than 10 years, and the first niche products came out already 5 years ago. But it's really the last 2 years that the big demand for plastic-free products like this have spurred, and that is mainly due to the plastic directive that the EU decided on in March 2019, but also due to a general market interest in plastic-free products. The market for these non-woven binders are valued to around 3 to 4 billion SEK per year. So it's a niche market within the plastic segments, but a very nice niche market for OrganoClick. For us, this is a perfect market, which is not really interesting for the super big players. So you can please change the slide. During the last 2 years, we have seen a really big interest from the largest non-woven producers in the world. And today we have around 20 customer projects in various phases in lab, pilot, and production. During this last quarter, 2 new customers, industrial customers, went from pilot scale up to production scale. So then they start testing our products in their production machinery. Just to give you a scope of this industry, a normal factory that is using binders, they purchase between 2,000 to 5,000 tons of binder per year, which is equivalent to a cost for them of around 20 to 50 million SEK. So that is a quite normal factor that we are targeting. And today 2 customers are using our non-woven binders commercially in niche applications, but we are now really closing in on a lot larger contracts with some of these customers where we are now doing production tests. So we are almost now, have around 10 customers that are up in production scale testing our binders. So more and more we are coming closer and closer to larger volumes here. So you can please change the slide again. Our biobinders are also used in materials which we call biocomposites. There you mix the binders together with cellulose fibers, and they are then used in 3D molding technologies, where you 3D form fibers together with our binders. And this can be used in quite different type of applications. We have specifically focused on applications of quite complex nature as the first product that we're targeting. The first application where our materials and our binders were started to be used in was in acoustic panels. You can switch the slide. To a customer that is called Baux, which is one of the fastest growing actors within acoustic panels right now. They are selling this type of acoustic panels, as you see here on the cladding, to various offices, and we could actually see that Google, they're using our acoustic panels, or Baux acoustic panels, in their offices. They sell also to other big American tech companies like Uber and Amazon and this type of companies. So we believe this can really take off and grow quite well now during 2021. These products were launched in 2019, and we have been gradually scaling up the production, as it is quite complex production to make this type of product. So yet it has mainly been production challenges that have limited the growth rather than the customer demand, but we are more and more coming into and getting up productivity for this type of products. Second product that has been launched, you can switch the slide, is something completely different, a burial coffin. Here we are collaborating with the largest coffin producer in the Nordics, Fredal Rödéns, who are now selling a coffin made out of our materials on the Nordic market. This is, I would say, it's a slower market, it's a more conservative market, but we see a steady growth now of sales of this coffin, which is produced and supplied then by Fredalidens to different funeral homes in Sweden. And now during the autumn, they have also launched this product in Norway and in Denmark. So we will gradually see an increase in sales also on the Norwegian and Danish market during 2021. You can please change the slide again. Financial development, we have seen a steady growth during the last 5 years. And as I mentioned, last year we had 85.5 million euro. This year we have so far seen an increase in growth of 11% compared with last year. And we had a very good, strong growth in the last quarter. You can change the slide again. We have also, due to a change in products mix, seen a steady increase in gross margins during this 5 years, coming up from 32% in 2015 to 41% in 2019. You can change the slide. And this has been done with very small changes in fixed operating cost during the last 3 years. So you can see that we have not had to increase the cost at all during the last 3 years, which then of course have made the profitability a lot better. You can change the slide again. You can change the slide again. As you can see here on the EBITDA, we invested a lot in our new factory and in our new sales force and so on, 2015, 2016. But then from 2017 and onwards, we have been going towards profitability very rapidly. And now, after the first 3 quarters, we still have a positive EBITDA. So we'll see what will end up now after December. You can please change the slide. Looking just at the development in Q3, the overall development, we had a growth of 28% in revenue. We also increased the gross margin quite a lot due to a change in product mix towards more profitable products for us. And we also increased the EBITDA a little bit. But mainly we also had a much better cash flow from operations due to that we had better control over our stock, which was on a good level this year compared with last year. So that we were very happy about. You can change the slide again. If you look at focus in 2021, we really focus on the German penetration for OrganoWood and also, of course, the launch of the second generation of OrganoWood technology. For OrganoTex, we are really looking forward to further penetration in the Nordics, but also in Germany and UK. So the German market is something that we focus on a lot now also for OrganoTex. And for the OrganoWood wood protection, the launch in the US and Canada, of course, is in our focus. And but the main focus, I would say, is still on our customer development projects for our non-woven binders, as there we see a very big upside if we can reach an agreement here shortly with some of the big players. Please change the slide again. And with that, I want to thank you for listening, and hopefully you want to join us in our journey towards a plastic-free future. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mårten. We're short of time, so I'll do one question, and that is your sort of target for converting one of your production tests in nonwoven into a commercial one in 2020. Are you still confident in reaching this target?
This has been our goal. We have said that in the Q3 report that our goal is still to have a contract in 2020. That is still our goal. So hopefully we can reach this goal.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your presentation, Mårten. Our time is up, but I thank you both, Mårten, and all of you for listening in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.